Oh my gosh, that's like, yo, that was like the second book. That was the second thing I fished. Welcome back to another episode of the FreckleVerse, and this time we've gotten our unbreaking book, and literally within 5 seconds of this video starting, we get the unbreaking book. We've got a couple of things to do today, and some of them include this building behind me that we still need to do a bit of work on. Some of these things include some other things as well. But the main thing that we are going to be working on today is actually not going to be in this world, because we have a bit of a storage problem. As you can see here, we've got some chests just sort of lying around. We've got chests full of stone, full of stuff like that. They're all messy, so we need to go ahead, fix that up, and build ourselves a storage system. That will come a little bit later because we do have some odd jobs to do. And the first thing that we need to do is go ahead and get ourselves an elytra. So let's just grab the menu book out and do some of this. So let's go and head to the end portal and into the end. Another thing I forgot to mention last video is that we also need a name for this horse. So yeah, chuck your favorite names down in the comments. What is this spawn? Yeah, I'm just gonna head in this direction, and hopefully we can find an end city. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. Well, this is all of the loot that we managed to get from going in to the end. And obviously we have our elytra as well, which is amazing. So we can now fly around and look at the top view of our base at the moment, which, I mean, doesn't look that good, let's be real. We don't even have a roof on this building. So that's something that we need to fix. But is that something we need to fix now? Yeah, probably. But the question is, what are we going to do for a roof on this? We've got a couple of options. We've got spruce, which could look nice, but it's fairly basic. We could have a colorful roof, like of copper or something like that. We could have a brick roof. Oh, I know what we're doing. We're doing deep slate and spruce. That is going to be the beautiful combo that we'll use for our roof. Let's get a couple more stacks of deep slate, and then we should be good to go. We also going to need some more spruce, but that's not an issue. As I was going down to the mine, I just remembered that I didn't actually put the chains down here last episode. So let's quickly do that. I feel like I have enough chains. I need 7 more chains. I was 7 off. Oh, well, it is finished now. The mine is complete, and we've got a water stream on one side and a drop down on the other. How good. All right, now it's time to get this roof done. So let's go ahead, hit the time-lapse music. You know how it is. Let's go. You really thought I'd do the top walls? No. But the roof is done. It is complete, and it looks pretty cool. And since we have the opportunity to, let's go have a look at it from the sky. We've got some beautiful texturing, if I may say so myself. And really, the only thing missing is just a little bit of wall over here. So that is going to be next on the list. For this episode, we're going to leave it here, and we're going to keep working on it over the course of the next few episodes. But for now, we have something a little bit special to do. If we take a look inside, basically everything in here has been built in episode 1. We dug out this area. We made this internal area looking amazing. But I also said that we would go ahead and expand this area in the future. And the future has arrived. So as you can see, this area here is all stone, and that looks bad naturally. So what we're going to do is we're going to dig down and make a huge area underneath, which are going to be filled in the next few episodes. Alright, it is all finished, and as I was doing it, I almost died trying to fly out of here. So I think we're going to need a second way up, and the way that I've come up with is making some waterways that you can sort of swim up, at least for now. It will just be swimming up, and then these will become bubble elevators and stuff like that. So I think that's the plan, and we can cover them up so easily with some trapdoors and stuff, and then you just jump down and jump back up. So what's the plan with this? Why have we dug a massive hole? Well, the answer to that question is because we have a lot more to add to this base. We've got an enchanting room, we've got an enchanting room, of course a library where we can store enchanted books that we've just enchanted in our enchanting room, and then down the bottom is going to be a storage room. But you can't have a storage room without a storage system. So what do we need to do? We need to build a storage system, and that is what we're going to do now. Now, I'd just like to preface all of this by saying that I'm actually not great at redstone, and so I'm going to be learning a lot in this part of the video. So you might be wondering what's behind me. Well, we're in my old redstone testing world, and as you can see, I didn't know much about redstone. This is literally just a flat world, and there's literally villages and stuff. But what I did manage to do was actually build something awesome. I managed to create a multi-level elevator, which I was going to use in my world until I realized that actually it didn't work, except for in this very specific circumstance, which is not something that I wanted to use in the world. So that's great. So basically you can recall the elevator, and then you can select a floor. So let's say we go to floor 3, click the button, get in, and you go all the way up. It works really well, and it's super compact. Like, look at this, it just fits within this perfect square. Well, that's what you might be thinking until you go around the back. And this really shows what my redstone knowledge looks like. First off, we're using basalt, which is possibly like the worst block to use. Secondly, there's a whole heap of obsidian here, which just doesn't need to be here, but I just decided to use obsidian for no reason. And there's a lot of spaghetti wiring, which, I mean, look, it works, but it's just, you get lost in here. This could be a hide and seek map as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, this is the extent of my redstone knowledge. I don't even know if it's going to be possible for me to build a multi-item storage system, but yeah, you never know. I guess we'll find out. Well, to start off what is going to be a horrendous process, let's set some goals for what we want this storage system to achieve. First off, I want it to be able to have an input chest for every item, including shulker boxes and non-shulker boxes. The second goal is that it'll be able to sort items into both a chest with one item in it and also a chest with multiple items in it. I also want this system to be able to load large quantities of items into shulker boxes for more efficient storage. And it also needs to be able to load similar items into one chest. And of course, most importantly, all of the items need to be easily located within the system. Now let's start with the first one, because I feel like it's the most important. You can't have a storage system without an input chest. And to do this, we need to make a shulker box loader. Now for this challenge, I'm not allowed to look at any sort of tutorials or anything. I just have to use my own brain power. So let's try and make a shulker box loader that works to start off with, and then we can maybe refine it a little bit. So I've made a shulker box loader. It is a little bit janky, but yeah, it works. And I was trying to muck around with making it so that I could put in both shulker boxes and also items, and the items would just fall through. But it's not really working. Okay, so I did a little bit more fiddling, and I've sort of made a more horizontal design, I guess. Oh no, I just realized something. I didn't think about that. Alright, so we're going to need to do a redesign of this, because we actually need to do a shulker box sorter, which is going to make the actual unloader part fairly easy. So I've built something, and I don't know if this will work at all. Okay, this is not viable. Okay, so this is the first generation of the shulker box sorting system. So we can check, and we've got shulker boxes in here, and we've got all of our other items in there. It's not too bad compactness wise, but I feel like I can make it better just by altering this timing system. I don't know how we're going to do that though. Okay, so this is the new module, and it's been completely fixed. It's looking a lot more compact. There's nothing of the stuff out the back that was sort of here. That's the shulker box sorter done. Now it's time to move on to the shulker box unloader. Okay, so this is the shulker box unloader. It's not amazingly compact, but it does the job. So now we've got a shulker box sorter, we've got a shulker box unloader, and we are ready to go into the sorting system now. This is the actual fun part, or maybe not the fun part, I don't know. Depends if you find redstone fun or not. I'm quite enjoying myself here trying to figure out redstone. I'm excited about this one. I figured out how to do basic minecart stuff, and we're gonna go and flick this lever. And as you can see, it gets stopped. And look at that, one is left, which means that we get 63 in here. And that's important. I just realized that this is not going to work. Okay, so what I'm having trouble with at the moment is figuring out how to get the minecart to stay here for the perfect amount of time that it gets 63 blocks into here. And it needs to be 63 blocks, or items, I guess. And the problem is, this works great, you know, but the problem comes when you've only got, like, let's say 9. So you flick the lever, and now it just sort of sits. It's going to sit here forever because it's never going to get up to the point where there's 63 blocks in here, which is a big problem because then the sorting system breaks. So it needs to be based off time rather than amount of items in the system. All right, we have finally done it. Finally made the system that's going to count exactly 63 items into the minecart hopper. This took a long time to figure out. Yeah, and it's not super compact, which is a bit of a shame, but it's honestly the best I can do, and I'm not changing it any more than it already has been because this was just such a pain that I just don't want to have anything else to do with this, which doesn't bode well for the rest of this, but that's okay. It's all part of the learning process, right? So now we've got 3 parts done. We've got the shulker box sorter and the shulker box unloader, and then we have this monstrosity. I feel like they look like they were getting more and more compact. You know, it got some gaps in it. This didn't have any gaps. It was nice. And then you've just got this menace. Anyway, that's fine. Next up on the list is actually sorting the items. So basically what we're going to have is a chest, let's say, for example, right here. And we're going to have a rail line that runs underneath it, like so. Got our minecart here, which has 63 of the stripped oak log. It's going to pass through, and now it has 64 because it's taken out the stripped log. And that is going to get detected by the comparator because it's no longer going... Oh man, it's no longer going to be a full chest anymore. So the comparator is going to pick that up, and then basically the sorting system on the top part will be like, hey, this one is the one that we want to put the things in. So then it's going to put them into this section because this hopper will be unlocked. Right, so this is the system now completely finished, and it works so well. Okay, so the minecart hopper is going to go along here. It's going to collect a torch out of here, and then all the items will funnel into this chest. And this system will let one item go through first, and then all the rest of the items will go through. And so that means that one item will end up in this chest, and all the other items are going to end up funneling into the correct chest. So in this case, it's that one. Let's check back in with our goals. Able to have an input chest for all items. That's done. Able to sort items into both single items groups and multiple item groups. This one we haven't done yet, but we'll get back to it. Able to load large quantities of items into shulker boxes. Haven't done this one either. Able to load similar items into one chest. We have done this one, and this one is just a layout one, so that's not really for us to deal with. So 2 out of 3 down. Let's keep working on this system. The next goal I want to really tackle is this one, able to load large quantities of items into shulker boxes. So we need a shulker box loader. We're going to have a button, basically you press it, and then the shulker box that's getting filled gets dispensed out to here. So then you can look at it, and then you click the button again and it goes away. That's the idea. And that's just because I can't fit it all over here with the configuration that I need with the shulker box like at the top and everything. It's just not working for me. Okay, so we've made a 3 wide shulker box loader, and this is, I mean, it works perfectly. Let's test it out. In here we've got our shulker box chest, and over here is where we put our items. There we go. Hopper speed is so slow, but if you have a look at this, it is completely full of redstone dust, which is perfect. That's what we want to see. And the next one is already filling up with some more. So that's basically it. Now we just need to make the system where if we click a button, this shulker box, in whatever state that it's in, gets pushed and then transported to here. This is what it's going to look like. So you can't see the chest, you can't see any of this under here, but it's all here, and it's pretty cool. And you can immediately open the shulker box because it's from a top perspective, because this is pushing up. And then when it gets pushed, when it gets triggered, this will go pow that way. Okay guys, I think we're almost there with this section. So basically we've got all the parts in place. Whenever there's an item in here, it gets dispensed, so then you can open the shulker box. See, it has 1 redstone dust, and you can get that out if you want. And then also, if we trigger this guy right here, heard the piston go, and that's all gone and ends up in this hopper right there. So that's how it works. We're also going to use a note block, which is something I've never done before, so that'll be interesting. And I think this is how you do it. You put an observer, detects when the note block's pressed, sends 1 pulse through, dump, and then this will get sent over to our system up here, which is going to do some things that I need to work on. And it's also going to get this system running as well. So I think I'll connect this up to the piston, and then over here we're going to need a couple of things. So the first thing is we need a dispenser in this location right here, and that's going to redispense our shulker box from here. When it comes out of here, it's going to pop back up, and then we'll end up in this, and when there's something in here, it just automatically dispenses. I think that's what I'm going to go with. Okay, here goes the first test of the system. We've got a shulker box loading up. So let's say, hey, we want a shulker box here. I didn't link them. I didn't link up the things. Yo! I apparently did link up the things, but only that one. Okay, I didn't link up the exit though. So let's go goodbye. And it's back. So a lot has happened since I last recorded, so let me give you a quick rundown. First things first, I didn't shift it over, but we'll get to that in a second. I also added a water stream here because I was playing around with a lot of different ideas, as you can see over here. Basically, the water stream put the items into the hopper the most effectively, but it wasn't 100%, and I can't be losing items, so we had to pivot a little bit. But the first thing I did is, if we go over here, I just shifted it, and then I had to redesign a couple of things to make it actually 3 wide. So this wasn't over 1 block, and this is all lined up beautifully, and it looks like an actual redstone contraption now. And then the next thing I did was fixed this issue. And as you can see, no water, no nothing. But this time we've got a hopper down the bottom and the dispenser on the side. Whereas over here, we've got the dispenser down the bottom and the hopper all the way over there. And so what this does is it's got a cauldron here, and the sticky piston is going to push it out 1 ticket and then pull it back in. And that's just going to put the item into the inside of the cauldron, and then it can get picked up by the hopper. So that works 100% of the time. We don't get any random items going in random spots. The last thing that happened is this monstrosity. So basically my brother was like, yo, get me onto this world. And so I let him on, and he was like, I'm gonna make this whole design 1 wide tileable just to spite you. And so here he is making this 1 wide tileable thing, and it works. It's literally like the same thing. It works beautifully. Now I could just use this design, but I'm not going to, because that's not the point. The point is me learning how to do basic redstone, seeing if a basic redstoner like myself can make something that's not basic. And just taking this wouldn't be my own, and it would be against the whole idea of the video. So I'm going to leave this here to make myself feel sad about what I can't achieve, and we're going to keep working on this. So let's talk about the tiling issue. So my original idea was that this would just be a massive hallway, but as I think about what I actually want in my own world, because I am going to be building this in my own world, subscribe to never miss an upload, I was thinking, okay, what if I made rooms where this is like a spruce wood room, depending on what it is. This could be a double chest going out like this, So that's great. And then I can have all of the non-stackable items that don't go into shulker boxes on chests along the side, and that'll be fine. So we don't need to make this tileable on both sides. We really only need to make it tileable on this side, and we don't even need to make it tileable on this side if we don't want it to be. Yo, this is so cool. I just think I figured out how to do Minecraft redstone. Look at this. There's actually so many benefits to this. When the hopper isn't here, the cauldron here is here, so it looks like it's good. And then we press the button and the shulker comes back. And look at this. It's just so, like, simple. All of this is now tileable. And I'm using, like, note blocks. Isn't that cool? Like, note blocks in redstone is crazy. For me, anyway. I don't know about anyone else. Now that I've done that, and I've made it tileable, I'm so determined to make it the entire thing tileable because it's just going to look so cool. This side is now completely tileable. We've done it. We have finally made it tileable. I really didn't think that this was going to be possible at all with my brains, and it certainly wouldn't have been possible at the start. So now it's time to go ahead and simplify these rest of these designs and make them a little bit more compact. Well, there's been a couple of shenanigans that have occurred, and we've built something quite awesome, I would say. So the first thing that I redesigned was this one right here, which is the shulker box sorter. And the problem with this was mostly that it just was so slow. When you put in, you know, like, let's even say 10 items, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. Here they come. Here they come. That's how long it took for 10 items. Now, if you put 10 items into this system, it's already done. This thing works 4 times faster, and it's because it's got 4 droppers going in to the shulker box. And we also have hopper minecarts attached to a trap chest, so when you place your items in and you go, oh no, my pickaxe, because this is a pickaxe, you can take it out again, and it's fine, no stress. We need to have a conversation about this one. So this is the original design, lots of repeaters, lots of comparators, whereas this one uses like all of this, but basically works the same. It just is using a hopper clock to choose when to release the hopper minecart. So which design is better? And that is all of the things that we fixed. Well, it has all been put together and it looks really chunky. The things that I have added to make this actually work, we've got just a basic item sorter over here, and that just, we've got some filter items 1, 2, 3, and 4, and basically those are the items that are inside the hopper minecart, which is here, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's because when we are getting items out of the hopper minecart over here, which is another thing that I've added, just this simple item collection, it's going to take all of the items out, so we need to get rid of these filter items so that we can just be sorting normal items. So that's what this is doing. Other than that, it's all the same, and let's go and do a huge test on this. What we're going to be sorting is 3 categories. We've got wood, we've got redstone, and we have stone. Here are all the items that we're going to be sorting this time. I've got some random non-stackable stuff. We've got some stacked stuff that is miscellaneous. We've got some shulker boxes in here. We've got a whole assortment of things. Some stuff that will be sorted, some stuff that won't be. It is done. We should have them all sorted in. We've got miscellaneous items in here, a couple more in here. But it's only worked well for the most part, because the first thing that went wrong is this. And it only happened at the start. We got some miscellaneous items in the shulker box chest, and I don't know how it happened, because when you look at how the shulker box come through, they come through here, they get put into this one, and then they get drained completely, and only when they're completely drained through this one hopper, and we'll talk about where this one hopper goes in a moment, then the piston pushes it and the shulker boxes go down here, which we know works because there hasn't been any shulker boxes in any others. So let's have a follow of this hopper. It goes straight down. So it goes straight down, and it goes straight down into the chest, and then it gets taken off into the storage system. That's it. There is no physical way for items to get into this chest if they're not a shulker box. So I'm just going to assume that, like, something bugged out and leave it at that. Well, it looks like the sorting system is working, except for this. Okay, so here's the thing. I think I just figured out something that would break the system. I put in an empty shulker box, and what I think is going to happen is once this is finished getting all the stuff out of the box, of the the shulker box is currently in it. This is going to flicker on. It's going to then dispense this, but it's not going to detect that a shulker box is there because there's no signal coming out because it's just an empty shulker box. So we might need to do some redesigning. Yep, as I suspected. That took a bit of time, and we've got some spaghetti wiring going on because I wasn't actually bothered to do any redstone. It's a little bit messy, but that's going to be it for now. I'm pretty proud of this, and I hope it inspires you to do something as awesome as this. Try something new. Before we finish off this episode, we do need to check in with our goals for this storage system. Obviously, already ticked off, able to have an input chest for all items. We did that well. This one, able to sort items into both single item groups and multiple item groups. It's possible. Able to load large quantities of items into shulker boxes. That's done. And to allow all the items to be easily located, that's been done as well. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my other videos if you want. There's a link to the FreckleVerse playlist down below. God bless you all. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. See ya!